Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today I'm going to be showing you how to fix hard steering if the power steering's gone. Yeah, so basically I've had this problem when I first bought my car. I basically had no power steering. So I looked up online, I found some info on how to fix it, and basically I did that, so I'm going to show you how I did that. So, to the video. Okay, so there's basically two issues that could happen, so unless the whole thing failed. The electrical connectors could have gone, or it needs a factory power steering reset, which mine was both. So I'll show you them right now. I have the hood popped and we're in the engine bay. So the first thing you're going to need to do to get to the electrical connectors is remove the factory air box. If you have a aftermarket like cold air intake, you should just be able to get to it, but you have to figure out which one you have. It's pretty obvious. So also going to need to remove your strut bar, which is just 4 bolts there and there. The tools you're going to need for removing the strut bar and the air box are a 10mm socket with an extension and a 12mm socket with an extension. I just have the two separate so it's faster, and a pair of needle nose pliers. Okay, so with your 12mm socket, you're going to undo the strut bar. Like that, and there's 4 bolts. There's 1, 2 there, 3, and 4. I also like to use these yogurt tubs just to keep my parts, like nuts and bolts, in so they don't get lost. So here's the strut bar. Now for your airbox, you're going to need the so for removing the airbox, you're going to need your 10mm socket and ratchet and your needle nose pliers. So first, you're going to want to undo the hose clamp on the intake tube, which is just here. And then you're going to want to disconnect your mass airflow sensor, which is just a clip you push down. And then there's this green connector here you undo. And then there is just a connector to hold the wire in. You just push out with your needle nose pliers and put that off to the side. The green clip was down here off to the left. Now you're going to want to undo the vacuum tubes, which are here, and there's one here. This is where you're going to need your needle nose pliers. So you just undo this clip and bring it down, and then twist and pull. Disconnect that. Now you're going to want to disconnect these 3 tubing. These are also for your positive crankcase ventilation system and just other air tubing. So sometimes these can be a little tricky, but you just have to give it a little tug. Make sure you don't snap them. There's one. There's 2. And there's 3. I always like to start from the bottom because this one's easier to get to, and then this, and then that one's better because you can get your fingers in between the 2 hoses once this one's disconnected. Now once all that's disconnected, you're gonna wiggle your tube off the throttle body, which will lift up the air box, and then you're gonna want to pull and then take it out. Now you're going to want to disconnect your airbox tray, which is 4 10mm bolts, 2 here and 2 down here. Okay, so after you're done taking out those 4 bolts, there's one more hose you need to disconnect, which is right down here. This is just like that. You pull, and then now we can take out the airbox with a little bit of pulling. Okay, so once you've got that little hose disconnected from the airbox tray, you just want to pop out the wiring harness connectors. Mine are all worn out, so they come out really easily, which I should look into, but I'm not going to right now. And then you just want to move this hard hose that you disconnected out of the way and pry up. And then take out the air filter tray. The power steering wire connectors are these 2 gray connectors here. You just want to push the tab and then pull out. Same thing for here. Push the tab and pull out. You're going to want to find something to clean the connectors with. I have this electronics contact cleaner from MG Chemicals. They're not a sponsor, but it's just what I had in my garage. So now you're going to want to spray into the connectors just like that. Do all 4 of them, and I'll do mine and we'll get back to you. Okay, so all 4 connectors have been cleaned with the contact cleaner. Now you're just going to want to let it dry, and then you can put everything back together. Okay, so now we're in the car, and we'll just turn it to the on position. So if that didn't work, basically we have to do a power steering reset. That's what this DCS off means, is that you've disconnected the negative battery cable, which causes the power steering to need a reset. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the car in neutral, push the clutch in, start the car, and what you want to do next, it's still flashing, see? You want to turn your wheel all the way to right lock, and then all the way to left lock. And now we can see that light went away, so your power steering should work fine. The reason you have to do this is because the RX8 uses an electrical power steering. So every time you disconnect the battery, it interrupts the connection. Okay, so once you've cleaned the electrical connectors and you've done the power steering reset and it still doesn't work, you may need a new power steering pump, or not pump, sorry, electrical motor for the power steering. You may need a whole rack, or you could just need the torque sensor. It just depends on what's gone wrong. Yeah, so thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, put it down in the comment section. I can link the electrical connector I used in the description. Yeah, thanks for watching.